Welcome to today's episode of College Tennis Talk. We are joined by Dwayne Hultquist, who is in 30 seasons of college tennis coaching, spending the last 22 in Tallahassee at Florida State, and coming from Texas, where he spent 8 years as the assistant coach for the Longhorns. Dwayne, we want to thank you for spending time with us today. So now let's spin and begin.
Davidson, thanks for having me. Enjoy getting the opportunity to talk here with everything going on with the coronavirus. So thanks for what you're doing here for college tennis.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's our goal right now is to keep promoting college tennis, even though our seasons were cut short, and we're still kind of trying to figure things out where we're moving in the future of this college sport. So again, thanks for joining us. And Dwayne is a current coach at Florida State. I played at Florida State there in the mid to late 90s. I finished up my collegiate career there in 1999, spring of 99, and Dwayne came in fall of 99. So Dwayne, one of the biggest differences I saw when you came into Tallahassee and took over that program was the way you connected with the community and immediately started improving and engaging, support and fundraising. Can you discuss that process and your mindset coming into Tallahassee?
Yeah, sure. I think one of the things that I felt like was really important was to gain some support and improve our attendance and getting some people out there. I think we're usually one of the top 10 in attendance in the nation. This past year we had 700 people come when we played against Mississippi State. So, I think that was something I felt like, we needed to build that support. And as we built that support, it also built on some fundraising projects. I think the biggest one was our indoor tennis complex that we built. We have 6 indoor tennis courts, probably the nicest in Florida. And, I think that has given us opportunities to do a bunch of things, including having a professional tennis tournament that we run in there and run events. My first year there, we had some matches canceled because of rain. And, after we got the indoor courts, we know that we can always finish a match. And it also helps us in preparing for some of the Northeastern schools in the ACC when we play them.
Yeah, preparing when you have to travel up a little bit further north and play some indoor matches. Yeah, that's excellent and a great thing to be able to offer your student athletes. You mentioned when you got to Tallahassee and wanting to improve the attendance and get support in the stands. Can you share some of the ideas and steps you took and going about getting fans and getting that support and having interest and people filling those seats?
Yeah, sure. One of the things that we did is we do it most every year is we take our guys and we go to the 17 sorority houses on campus and invite them. And there's one year that we had 250 sorority girls that came out for one match. So, just kind of build a following among the students there. We've also connected with the FSU tennis club. And then we also have booster hit arounds that we do. And we created a specialty seating. There's 70 seats that has covered shade, and we serve dinner for some of our select matches, maybe a Friday night match or a weekend match where we're playing a top team. And so, that 70 seats are people who are supporting our team financially. And, I think that's been very successful in gaining some financial support around us as well.
Well, I know a big difference I saw during your scheduling right off the bat was you were adding some more of the night matches. And, we've had the pleasure of coming down to Tallahassee and playing you in some of those night matches. And when I played at Florida State during my career, we're basically playing, morning and mid-afternoon matches. So, I think that was a successful step also in creating a little bit stronger fan attendance.
Yeah, I really feel like actually our best attendance is usually on Friday nights. And we play Friday night at 5:30 and include dinner in that and, get a pretty good following that way. And, the other thing that's led to is putting our matches on ESPN and ACC network and also the Tennis Channel. And we have Seminole Productions here and they do a great job of covering the tennis matches, and we'll put 4 or 5 matches on TV each year.
Dwayne, you bring up the college tennis on TV, and college tennis has taken some steps to make this sport a little bit more appealing to the TV and the broadcast feed. And I know that has allowed me as a fan of Florida State to be able to stay connected with your team and watch you guys play. And recently, you guys had a match with the University of Florida that was on the Tennis Channel. And you guys ended up coming away with a thrilling 4-3 win there. Why don't you, share that match, that experience, and the fan base and the attendance, and the viewers that connected with that match?
I think we've played it down at Lake Nona, and they've created it so that we have a college match day down there each year. And, one of the things that we're able to do that way is they put it on Tennis Channel. And that day that we played Florida down there, we actually outdrew Davis Cup that same day because we were prime time. And we had about 40,000 people that attended it. And, our 40,000 people that watched it on Tennis Channel, and about 2,000 people that watched the match live. So that's been a great series with us playing Florida and down there. And I think it's, enabled us to have a lot of people that might not follow us because they're not in Tallahassee, but they can follow it on TV. We were fortunate enough 2 years ago to win that one 4-3 and came down to the last guy. And, it was very thrilling and how that came about. So, I do think everyone used to say college tennis couldn't be put on TV, but, we use 3 TV commentators, 2 in the booth in the football stadium. And then we have 1 guy that's at the tennis courts and is catching matches as they come off. And so I think it's been where there's a lot happening that way. And I think it's kind of a unique way to follow a college tennis match.
Well, college tennis definitely has loyal fans. So if we put our product out there, there's going to be a following, and excited to see you guys on TV, and hope you'll continue those opportunities in the future. Earlier you discussed, bringing pro tennis or a pro event in Tallahassee. And currently I think you guys are hosting Challenger and a Futures event. What does that mean for the city of Tallahassee and also the Florida State tennis program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tallahassee is a very good tennis town. There's over 1,000 people that play league tennis. And, the Challengers played out at Forest Meadows, just on the north side of town. We've had our guys have the opportunity to get in the singles draw and the doubles draw a couple times. Our guys have made pretty good runs that really translate into a pro career. Johnny Zaboni had a nice run there. Before that, Matt Kluwer. Both those guys were ACC Players of the Year. And so for them to get that pro opportunity after college, it helped them get a start on it. And the same thing's true with our future. We run a $15,000 future on our indoor courts in the fall. And that tournament gives us, 4 or 5 guys get opportunities to play in the main draw and pick up significant wins. Alex Naff, one guy that played one for us this year, he beat a guy 250 in the world, and that kind of maybe changed his professional aspirations and his career in college, and really made him into an elite player.
College tennis, there's been several players the last few years that are really using that college tennis experience as a stepping stone into the pro ranks. And you guys having those 2 events right in Tallahassee certainly means a lot to your program. We discussed college tennis and then moving on to the pro ranks. Why don't you let us know some of the players that you guys have been moving through that are finding that success on the pro tour?
Yes. Well, last year, Lucas Polian played for us, as did Aziz Dugaz, and those guys are doing very well right off the bat. Lucas is in the 500s in the world. Aziz is in the 300s in the world, and pretty quick movement within 1 year. Benjamin Locke has been in the 200s and in doubles, and is currently about 400 in singles. He played for us a few years ago, and he's won over 30 pro titles. And then Geir Dekunda, who's actually our volunteer coach, is approximately 600 in the world. So all those guys are kind of recent guys who are doing well professionally, and now they're in a position where they have to stop for a while, but I think made really good progress over the last couple of years and elevating their games.
No, you guys are doing great things down there in Tallahassee. And, even as a team, was this 1-2 years back, you guys took out the number one team in the country in North Carolina at home. I'm thinking that was the best win in program history. What would it take for you guys? Now you have players moving on, having success on the Pro Tour. What is it going to take for you guys to consistently, be beating and contending with the 1-2 teams in the country, and ultimately moving on to win, contend for that national championship?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think 2 of the last 4 years we've beaten the number one team in the country. We beat North Carolina, and then when they were number one after they had won national indoors, and then we beat Wake Forest 2 years ago when they won the NCAA championship. So we were one of the 2 teams that beat them. I think it does come down to recruiting, and I think that's a big part of it. I think we've done a good job on the player development side, and we've got a couple guys that were struggling to make our lineup and then ended up playing really high for us, and Alex Knapp, Benjamin Locke, and those guys have just really improved. But I think it's winning some of those recruiting battles, and then I think we just got to be a little more consistent and not losing to a lower ranked team, but then to continue having those wins over teams that are in the top 10.
Well, you're definitely developing your players there, as you mentioned, Locke and Alex coming in and not being as high up in the lineup. And then as they move through their careers, playing and leading your team at the top and moving on and finding some great success on the Pro Tour. So great work down there in Tallahassee.
Well, thanks. Well, I appreciate that. And as an alum, I didn't get a chance to coach you, but we almost overlapped. We were within a few months, and we appreciate you coming back through here and keeping up with us and how our team is doing and progressing.
No, absolutely, man. Go Noles.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Dwayne,
appreciate it.
We're going to move on to another segment here in our show. This is called the Quick Volleys. Best college facility in Florida outside of Tallahassee?
Lake Nona.
Clay courts for college tennis, yes or no?
Yes, in the fall.
Choice of match day sunglasses?
Well, I have to go with the Nike ones because FSU is a Nike school, so I got to wear the Nike ones.
When I was in Tallahassee playing for the Noles, they were under contract with Oakley, so all the spring sports received a pair of Oakley. So I always enjoyed that little gift in our locker. All right, best college football traditions: Penn State, Texas, or FSU?
Wow, you got a hard one there for me. I will say this: night games at Florida State are the best. So I go with Florida State on the night games.
I'm going to agree with you there, Dwayne. Have you attended any FSU beach volleyball games?
Yes, I've attended a lot of beach volleyball games at FSU. My daughter plays on the team there. Very proud of what she has accomplished as a college athlete. They were NCAA runner-ups twice, and 2 other times finished in the top 5. And I really felt like they had a chance to win it all this year.
Yeah, they're getting it done in the sand there. What is more exciting, college tennis or college beach volleyball?
Well, I'm going to go with college tennis on that.
That's the show we're on, man. Good answer.
Yeah, even though I do love going to the beach matches and watching the team play.
What is your favorite tennis game drill that your team plays?
I like playing a game we call Cadence. Ryler DeHart, former assistant, brought that to us, and I love doing that, where It's two. You got two on a court, so four would be on the court at a time, and it starts with a lob, and you got to win 3 points in a row to win one big point, and you play to five. So that would be my favorite one.
Okay. I might have to call you after and get or maybe I'll call up Ryler and get some more details on that. It sounds fun. Our team's favorite game right now is a game called 2-ball, 3-ball. All right. Moving on. No ad scoring, like or dislike?
I like it because of the TV aspect, and we've grown in the TV since we switched to that. So I would be favorable towards that.
Most memorable coaching win?
I think probably the most memorable one was beating Illinois when they were national champions the previous year in the round of 16 to advance to the quarterfinals.
No, I remember that. I was not able to, watch that match live, but definitely moving that team on into the Elite Eight was a historic time for the FSU program. So congrats on that. All right, toughest coaching loss?
I'd have to be. We lost to Georgia 4-3 in Athens in the NCAA tournament, and that year Georgia ended up getting to the semis, and we were actually 2 points away from winning that match. So that would probably be the toughest loss.
Gotcha. Best tennis venue for college tennis?
I do love University of Georgia. Their stadium, and their building, how they have all that seating around, and I like the venue there a lot.
Loudest tennis fans in the country?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people that are doing a great job. I would say Virginia at the indoor tennis facility up there was one of the loudest ones that we have experienced.
Toughest place to play a college tennis match?
I'm going to go with Baylor. We've played there a couple times, and I think that's a very tough place to play. They do have a big crowd, big home court advantage there.
All right. Many college experts had the FSU men's basketball team winning it all this year. What were your odds for the Florida State team finally winning the men's basketball championship?
Well, I think they were pretty good. I'm going to go with something like 8-1 or something like that. I think they were one of 5 or 6 teams that could win it this year. Amazing team in how Leonard has 10 or 11 guys, and they all play and they all contribute, and you don't know who's going to be the high scorer. What he's done last few years, just amazing. And I enjoyed going to their games this year. A lot of fun, and they went undefeated at home. So I think they were going to get to the Final Four. I believe they were going to make it there.
All right, I'm gonna say they're gonna win it all. All right, biggest rival in tennis: Florida or Miami?
I'm going to go Florida. Miami's a close second, but Florida, I think, would be the biggest rival.
All right. Dwayne, thanks again for joining us on College Tennis Talk.
All right. Thank you, Davidson. Great to be on, and appreciate what you're doing for college tennis.
All right. Absolutely, man. And one more time, go Noles.
All right. Go Noles.